What we teach our students to do is to safely drive machinery. So starting with the tractors, how to look after tractors, how to maintain them, and we assess them on their driving skills. There have been 14 fatalities this year involving agricultural machinery out of a total of 27 fatalities across the board in agriculture. So machinery is a very high proportion of fatalities within agriculture. If you've got a piece of equipment that isn't working properly or that's damaged, you are ultimately responsible. If you go on and use it, you are also partly to blame. We are trying to train and educate young people coming through how to use it properly. I think one of the problems is pressure. Time of year, farmers are under a lot of pressure as regards weather. Their margins are sometimes very small, so there's a lot of activity going on in a very short period of time, and that's where the pressure comes from, and that's where shortcuts are sometimes taken. But it's when you want something done quickly, you want to get on and do a job, and your thought process doesn't look at the danger side of it, and it has happened so often. So machinery hazards, what sort of hazards have we got? Crushing, people getting crushed by various bits of equipment. Entanglement, people getting caught up. Balers, wrappers. Impact, that is one of the biggest causes of fatalities, is farm workers, people involved in agriculture getting hit by machinery. So I'll ask you the question on this one. If you want to get somebody's attention who's driving a particular vehicle, tractor, machine, get their attention first. Don't blindly go in, and if they're still using the equipment, make sure they've got your eye first or you've got their eye. The main point really is to, when they go away, look at what procedures they've got in place. When they use machinery, reassess them. Is it safe what we're doing? Do we need to change anything? And training for young people as well, even for old people or older people who've been in farming for years. Training is still very, very important. High pressure fluid injections. What sort of pressure do tractor hydraulics run at? 3,000, 3,500 PSI. What's the danger in that?
Well, when it breaks off, you get covered. Or you get killed.
Yep. Yes. So you're going to get plastered in oil for a start, and the worst scenario is it will puncture your skin. That little jet of oil will puncture your skin very, very easily. So minor issue, you might get blood poisoning, but it can also be fatal as well. So all your hydraulic pipes, you should be looking at for cracking. Is the wire braid starting to show through? Okay, so it starts to get rusty, that's when it's going to start to get weak. Poor maintenance. How often does it happen that you've got a piece of equipment, you use it, you put it away, you drag it out the next year, and you expect it to do exactly the same job again? Basic maintenance will make a big difference, and it will save you time, money, and might even save your life as well. Lack of operator training. If you are an employer or an employee, you must be trained on new bits of equipment. Agricultural dealers should give you training on new bits of equipment if you buy it. Don't sling the operator's book in the back of the cab or in a drawer, look through it. If you're not sure how to use it, make sure you get adequate training. It's very important. As an employer, you are responsible to make sure that your employees are adequately trained. Foot entanglement, there have been a number of incidents. Even if you're wearing this a steel toe cap boot, is that going to protect your foot if it gets caught up in a pickup hitch? No. What else can you lose? If it's not your foot, you've got somebody working with you and you want them to change the pickup hitch. There have been 2 incidents that I know of somebody up in the tractor driver's seat. They lower the hitch down and they say to their colleague, just pop the 2 pins out, or 1 pin, whatever it might be. So they put their hand in, pop the pins out. The person in the cab thinks, oh, they finished. And they've raised the hitch up and somebody's lost their hand. So if you're working with other people, what should you have between you? Yeah, good communications. You must know what each other are going to be doing. How much of a PTO shaft needs to be covered? All of it. And that's not just with a guard that covers the universal joints. The two parts on your tractor and on the machine must be covered as well. They must be in good condition. You're looking at least 50, 60 pounds for a guard, but it needs to be in place. If you are using an implement with a PTO shaft, what can you do to your arms to protect the guard and the shaft? So make sure your link arms are up out the way so that when you're turning, they don't come and damage the guard or damage the shaft. Make sure that the PTO shaft is the right length to suit your tractor. If you lift it up and it's too long, you're either going to damage the PTO shaft itself, the universal joints. Worst scenario, you can break a gearbox on the implement or snap the PTO shaft. And I've heard of some incidents where the PTO shaft on the tractor has been pushed back into the transmission, and that's expensive. Make sure it works properly, make sure it snaps into place. The universal joint, does it move freely? And does it slide in and out? And is it guarded properly? If there's any damage to that shaft or guard, it is illegal to use, it should be changed. And a 540 shaft, which is about your average speed for most PTOs, how long would it take for 1.5 meters of clothing? If you've got a little tassel hanging down, how long would it take for you to get wrapped up in a PTO shaft? Seconds? 1 second. Who does a lot of road haulage with trailers? What's the law? How much can you actually tow beyond your tractor? At the moment, it's just over 24 tons. So tractor, trailer, and whatever you've got in there is just over 24 tons. Brake tests, and it is becoming more and more prevalent now. Again, if you're doing road work, if you're not sure about how much or how efficient your braking is, go and speak to your local agricultural dealer. I know there are some in this area. See if they do trailer brake tests and tractor brake tests, and it will tell you the efficiency of your brakes on both. It's education and looking at your practices, and are your practices safe? Do you need to change them? Because they've always been done a particular way for years and years, doesn't always mean to say that that is the safe way to do them.